September 11th, 2001. Do you remember where you were? Nearly 3,000 people died, a horrific terrorist attack, the worst thing that happened in this country since Pearl Harbor, basically. I was there. I remember it very, very well. Everything seemed to change. At least initially, America did the right thing. We went after the planners in Afghanistan, and we established something called the Department of Homeland Security. It seemed like a really good move, right? We had a lot of agencies all over the place. Why don't you put them under one umbrella so they can talk to each other easily, share information? It was a big step in the right direction, or so it seemed.
By acting together to create a new and single Department of Homeland Security, we'll be sending this world a signal that the Congress and the administration will work together to protect the American people and to win this war on terror.
All right, strong signal. 20 years ago. Where are we now? Everything's backwards. Everything is mixed up and doesn't make sense. That Department of Homeland Security has just established a new Office of Health Security. Yes, health security. Now, maybe it's about pandemics and that kind of thing, bioweapons. No, it is about the following. A reorganization will pioneer best-in-class workforce health, safety, work-life, and wellness programs, and suitable, timely care for non-citizens in our care and custody. Wellness programs. Also, we will focus on promoting a healthier and safer workforce. Okay, don't we have OSHA for that right now? I mean, this is just typical swamp. Inventing more offices, totally off mission, not focused. Wellness programs like yoga. All right, is this the kind of thing they're talking about? 9/11 happens 20 years ago, and look at where we are now. The worst terrorism attack ever. We invent a new department, a Department of Homeland Security, that 20 years later is talking about wellness programs and helping out people with work-life balance. This is losing. This is losing the country. This is losing our safety. But here's the solution. A new car! That's right. A new electric car. You know, the Price is Right when they make such a big deal out of a new car. Well, a new electric car could be the answer to all of our problems. Isn't that right, Biden administration?
When you buy an electric vehicle, you go all the way across America on a single tank of gas, figuratively speaking. It's not gas. You plug it in.
The second thing we have to do is make sure these electric vehicles are accessible to everyone.
The urban, lower income people who stand the most to gain by having an electric car and saving that gas money.
Okay, they're too expensive and they stink, okay? There are all kinds of problems with them, and they're pretending that they're already perfected. They are not. This guy is the worst, Secretary Pete Buttigieg. Now, he is the Secretary of Transportation. He got that job after being the mayor of Nowheresville. What, South Bend? No offense, South Bend, but you don't go from being South Bend mayor to being the hottest presidential candidate to being a cabinet secretary, at least not in my book. Ooh. But for political journalists and for our crazy culture today, he has a lot of clout. Not because he knows electric cars or much of anything, but yes, because he's married to a guy.
Look, being gay is part of who I am, and it's part of my story, and it has shaped me in some important ways.
I'm comfortable dealing with bullies. I'm gay, and I grew up in Indiana, so I'm not that worried about that.
I am proud of who I am. I'm certainly very proud of my marriage and of my husband. We don't shy away from that.
It took me a long time to figure out how to tell even my best friend that I was gay, let alone to go out there and tell the world.
Okay, you've told everybody 15 times, enough, and it's not helping us with our situation right now. This electric car that he's so enamored with, 80% of the digital innards, not necessarily the steel and everything like that, but the really important stuff, the battery systems and things like that, coming from China. And a very interesting exchange today on Capitol Hill between Congressman Perry and Pete Buttigieg about what's really going on here. Congressman Perry's expertise and earnestness really comes through, and the glib Pete Buttigieg, he doesn't know a thing.
Since 2010, so it's essentially over 12 years now, we've closed over 550 power generation stations, which is about 102 gigawatts, and we're scheduled to retire another by 2025, so just a couple of years, 17 gigawatts of coal-fired capacity. At the same time, we're asking Americans through subsidies and through their purchases to pay for China, who has, I think you wouldn't argue, 80 to 90% market share of everything that goes into an electric vehicle, right? Into an electric vehicle. At the same time, we're essentially reducing power, and using Thomas's numbers, which I think are correct, we're going to increase the grid requirement by at least 50%, which none of that really works out. You look at a country like Ghana, who's shutting the lights off now because they followed this model that we're following right now. What's the administration and what are you doing to make it easier and more affordable to mine critical minerals in the United States to support this industry?
One thing we've been working on with the Department of Energy is better sourcing of some of the elements that go into batteries, for example, ideally in the United States, and if not in the United States, then in geopolitically friendlier territory. Now, some of this isn't just the mining, but some of it's actually the refining capacity, which is to China's advantage, and we got to change that. I guess our view is we shouldn't accept that as a given.
Typical Harvard, shows a vague familiarity with the issue and smiles and points to his gayness, right? I mean, didn't you hear? He's gay. Shouldn't that get him through all of this stuff? Don't ask me any of those detailed questions. But Joe Biden made some silly promises during that campaign trail, and he made them in the grossest way sometimes.
I want you to look in my eyes. I guarantee you, we're going to end fossil fuel, and I am not going to cooperate with you, okay?
All right, he got really close to that 24-year-old young woman, and now he really seems to be trying to make good on getting out of fossil, but we're not ready to go off of fossil, so what happens? We go literally begging to the Saudis. This is a terrible look. This set back American prestige and power. Who knows how far? Donald Trump, meanwhile, he understood this stuff. And our adversaries had respect for him. That is important. And you know, you can actually get things done when people respect you, when they feel like they can walk all over you. You're not going to be very productive. And speaking of walking all over people, well, I think AOC has walked all over the media. Have you seen her antics? She's very good at it. She's like a spoiled kid who knows how to play her parents perfectly. She went to a pro-abortion rally today. It was right outside the Capitol in front of the Supreme Court, and threw yet another temper tantrum. When someone gets arrested, by the way, we know what it looks like, right? You know, when the cops throw the cuffs on, the person's hands have to be behind the back. Well, AOC was causing such a disturbance. They didn't arrest her, but they kind of escorted her from the scene. But she wanted it to look like she was arrested. Look at her hands. She's not handcuffed. Remember that. You see, she gives the power sign. Then she realizes, oops, I want to look like I'm under arrest. Huh? And Ilhan Omar did the same thing. They had to have thought about this ahead of time. She wants to look like she's being arrested, but she does not have handcuffs on, huh? How about those folks? It's all about the optics. It's all about the fun and games, not getting anything done. And that goes for the Congress, certainly goes for the White House. This is Karine Jean-Pierre. Oh boy, she is not good at this job. I'm sorry.
As we know from the Dobbs decision, one of the things that we saw from Judge Thompson is that they're looking to go further.
Yeah, she said Judge Thompson. It's not Judge Thompson. She's talking about Clarence Thomas. Clarence Thomas is not a judge, and his name is not Thompson. It is Justice Thomas, okay? You got that, Karine Jean-Pierre? She's not going to be able to keep this job for much longer. I know she's black. I know she's gay. I know she's an immigrant. How do I know that? She can't shut up about it, just like Mayor Pete.
The man who is now sitting in the building I used to work in hates everything that I am. A black, gay immigrant woman.
I am a black, gay immigrant woman, the first of all three of those to hold this position.
Can we talk about you as a trailblazer, the first black, the first immigrant, the first openly gay person to hold the job of White House press secretary.
Any young girl or young boy, when they look up, they see me, that they know that they can dream big and even dream bigger.
Any young girl or young boy who is looking at the press secretary today just needs to know the big lesson here is that it's not Judge Thompson, it's Justice Thomas, okay? Okay, everybody? Any young boy or young girl who's looking at her sees a person who's not very good at the job. I don't care about her orientation. I don't care about AOC's whatever. I don't care about the Office of Health now at the Department of Homeland Security. We just want America to work. And wouldn't it be nice if it could be great again?